The Nintendo Wii Shop is closing down for good, and that's a big bummer because many games that never saw a physical release or a port to another console will be lost in time and space forever. But before that happens, I'll be highlighting my favorite shop exclusives that you should pick up before they vanish. Let's take a look at Fluidity, a physics-based puzzle platforming game that is not only one of my favorites on the shop, but one of the best games the Wii console has to offer. Fluidity was developed by Curve Studios and released on the Wii Shop in 2010. The game stars the most recognizable protagonist in the world. Water? Yeah, good old H2O, the source of all life on Earth, that's our hero. Fluidity takes place inside a magical encyclopedia called the Aquaticus. You control a small pool of water as you attempt to remove an evil slime creature called the Influence from the pages of this world. To do so, rainbow drops must be collected, which will weaken the goopy villain and remove the ink from the pages. Water as your character is actually quite refreshing. And what I mean by that is that it's nice to play a game where there's no mascot character. The focus and success hinges solely on the gameplay, and Fluidity delivers that and more in a truly unique gaming experience. There are 4 chapters in the Aquaticus, each holding a certain amount of rainbow drops, with 90 total in the game. You must move your pool of water around the level and complete puzzles, missions, and even platforming sections, in order to locate or earn rainbow drops. The Wii's biggest selling point was the motion controls, and at times that could also be its biggest weakness, especially when the developers didn't implement them accurately or resorted to Wii Waggle. Fluidity, however, is one of the finest uses of motion controls on the system. If you want to move the water across the screen, you simply tilt the horizontally held Wii remote and water will begin to rush to that side. To make the water splash upward or jump, you have to quickly pull up on the Wii remote. This control scheme is both intuitive and responsive, and I never had an issue moving the water. As water, you can have 3 different forms. There's of course a liquid state, solid as an ice brick, and gas as a steam cloud. Each one of these forms has its own benefits as well as its own weakness. When in your liquid state, you can gather into a tight glob and explode, splashing water everywhere. This can help you jump more accurately, as well as move heavier bricks that block your path. You can also shoot water like a geyser to reach high platforms. The drawback to your liquid form is that if you're too spread out for too long, pieces of you will begin to evaporate. As an ice block, you can smash through walls and stick to surfaces. This was my favorite form since it had more platforming sections. Some may require you to stick to surfaces and use momentum to swing across large gaps. The drawback to being ice is that you cannot fit into certain areas, and of course movement is more slippery. The cloud form lets you fly in any direction and blow gusts of wind. You can use this to make enemies disoriented, as well as move balloons around that are necessary for puzzles. You can also perform a lightning strike to towers, which can trigger a gate. The cloud moves much slower than the other forms, and I think that's why it was the least enjoyable for me. Moving the cloud up or down doesn't control as well as other forms, because you must rotate the Wii remote to do so. This was the only instance where I felt the controls were a little lacking. Though all the forms get a good amount of playtime, and as you progress you are constantly gaining new abilities for each. It keeps the gameplay fresh for the entire 8 or so hours it takes to beat. Now it's not as simple as just sloshing around and finding rainbow drops. There are many obstacles in your path, like goop creatures who can cause you to evaporate, which will make your pool of water smaller and smaller until you die. You can destroy these monsters by splashing at them when the defenses are down. There are also fire pits, spikes, and furnaces that can cause you to lose water and kill you. Many rainbow drops are hidden behind gates that can only be opened after pressing switches or moving gears together. The puzzles can be challenging, and when I beat a particularly tricky one, I felt satisfied. My favorite puzzles were the ones where you had to move items, like say a rubber ducky through a bunch of obstacles to bring it to its bathtub. After gaining enough rainbow drops, a boss level will open up, where you have to defeat a set number of enemies. These are some of the most difficult portions of the game, so make sure you go in with a stockpile of lives. Fluidity is fairly non-linear. For the most part, you're allowed to move in any direction across the level you want. There are some portions that are locked and require a certain amount of rainbow drops to advance past. Exploring these areas for secrets is exciting, and if you stumble on enough golden puzzle pieces, you can unlock minigames. The graphics are flat and simplistic, but very colorful. I like the simplicity because you can always tell where you are, where you can and can't go, and what the objective is without needing a prompt. It's clean and does the job. The soundtrack is soothing, but catchy. It can be relaxing to listen to, especially when trying to complete a difficult puzzle, and it really put me at ease. For 1,200 Wii points or $12, Fluidity is a full package. Now that's some high quality H2O. Most games from the Wii Shop will never see another release, and perhaps the biggest reason why is because many of them use motion controls. Fluidity is an exceptional game that did motion controls right, and it's a shame that it won't have a home once the shop closes down. If you're looking for a surprisingly in-depth puzzle platformer, make sure to get Fluidity before it's gone. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what your favorite Wii Shop games are down in the comments below. I'll see you next time, and remember, it's all fun and games. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed that video, make sure to check out my review of You, Me, and the Cubes, another game for WiiWare that faces extinction. And if you like It's All Fun and Games, make sure to subscribe. Thanks again.